Hope you're having a good time transmitting out there. So, once again, time to go down the questionable hole. So, what do we hear about today, guys? So, one might say it's Technological Chromesthesia Week. But here over at Ball Technologies, we're desperate to get to tomorrow today. We've only got 2 more hours, so we'll get there. But more to the point, it's going to be next week before you know it. So, with it being next week before you know it, we got to jump into the next week and the next project coming out of the industry channel. So we're going to be talking about what we're getting from January, what we're getting from the channel, and more importantly, giving our good friend Technological Chromesthesia one last hurrah. So we're going to look at Technological Chromesthesia one last time and talk about this in case you guys missed this and wanted to get a quick clip of it. Basically, it's a domain mathematic. Oh, let's get the screen on. It's a domain mathematic. That domain mathematic is essentially let's get a third one where it's just the whole screen. Uh boop, boop, boop. Yeah, there we are. So then we got this as well. Oop. All right. So when it comes to this bar here, we've got the red, the orange, the yellow, the green, the blue, the indigo, and the violet, but their positions are arbitrary and they're domain math based. So if you wanted to go ahead and check out yesterday's stream was about quick updates about where the channel's going because I'm getting kind of sleepy, but I'm going to try and take it easy ahead. So again, if you haven't seen some of the stuff, it's possibly too late to catch it on the Twitch because I don't have a premium installed yet. Sorry about the eventual Doctor Whoism of these tapes, but they will be on YouTube unless they pull those down. So we're looking at yesteryear, this good old gal, technological chromesthesia. It's something I came up with on the most basic level. If we wanted to look at it from a 13 tone scale, we could do 13 tones: red, red, orange, 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 yellow, 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 green, 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 blue, blue, indigo, indigo. Oh, sorry, blue indigo, indigo, oh, blue indigo, 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 violet, and violet. That's 13 if my math isn't wrong, which it could be, but I think that's 13. And what you do is you could have the letters or the actual colors be arbitrary, and you could put it on a 13 scale and to make waveform dynamics out of the octave. And you could have do, D, re, re, mi, fa, fi, so, si, la, li, ti, and do. Or do, ti, te, la, le, so, se, fa, mi, me, re, ra, do. So with those, you can go do to do on an actual octave scale from red to violet, but the point is it's arbitrary because we can set those to whatever hue values we want. And this is a structured whole divisive version of the octave. That doesn't change the fact that it could in the long form be specifically about like you could have pink here or you could have orange there or you could have any functional hue value, or we could even do arbitrary. We were talking about having esoteric technological chromesthesia where we would use ultraviolet and ultrasound or infrared and ultrasound and different kinds of values on that. But in any way, we're uh we're getting in we're getting in out of the week. So, technological chromesthesia, while an important concept, and it will always remain in my heart, is something that we must put in the yonder yester because we are going to be moving on. Now, why are we going to be moving on? Because time is still keeping on. So they say, so we think. And for now, it traps us, or at least it traps this moment or at least it traps some moments. But here is the real riddle and the truth of the matter. We will be delving through time, no matter if we're talking about it or not. We will move into tomorrow. And if we move into tomorrow, we have but one course of option. And that course of option is to accept what is coming. And if we're going to accept what's coming, we should know what's coming. And just because we can't necessarily predict the future doesn't mean we can't anticipate some conditions. And if we can predict red door or blue door, or if we can predict where we're going, the actually going to talk at all about time, we have to talk about space. You can't just have one without the other. Time divides space into different possibilities and different configurations. So, for example, we're talking time. You've got a little forest. The forest eventually gets chopped down. The forest getting chopped down makes a clearing. That clearing is now a new form of the now, then becoming an actual like camp or a castle. Over time, that camp or castle would eventually be the over under of the actuality of the instantiation. It's now, then. But the point is, at forest time, it was not now. It's a time in the future. And because we use the time strip method of trying to feed it in one way or another, instead of trying to imagine it in images and instantiations and moments, uh, when we divide time by math, it gets messy. Math and time do not like to agree. Math and time like to contrast, and because they like to contrast, they are pretty persnickety. See, we're also live here. If you guys are over on Twitch, I see I got at least one. But the real point is it time to move on, you guys? Is it time for me to stop? Is it time for this to all be over? Is it ever over? Will I ever be done? Looks like we got a little bit of a latency. I'm not listening to it because that'll make a feedback loop, but I'm trying to adjust the camera to be able to look at you guys. Whoop, whoop, whoop. All right, so is it time to move on? Is it time for me to stop streaming? Is it time for me to stop making content? Is it time for me to stop talking about time? Technically, not yet. Eventually, it's going to happen, regardless of whether I'm done talking about it or whether it's done talking about me. Uh, my breaths are limited. I'm trying to commoditize those for you guys. I'm not really out for the money end of it. I really want to make it so that you guys understand I have a functional limit on the over under of how long I got. So if you guys are interested in my content, if you guys enjoy what I got going on, I'm here. And maybe one day I won't be. Maybe one day I'll be in Antarctica, walking around in the wastes, looking at it all, making haiku, just writing to myself, writing to the ones I love, and trying to help out researchers, because that's something that I would be really interested in. Or maybe I'll just go completely crazy and wind up in an asylum. Who knows? Like there's all kinds of paths. There's not just one route. And I don't want you guys to think that I've got it all figured out. But yeah, it's a it's a real deal thing. I want you guys to know I'm trying my best to get you guys to see it's not a one and done. It's just what I got for you. All right. So, we are going to talk about the frames of time. Time is a continually pushing metric, is what divides us. Time is what binds us. Let's go ahead and say goodbye to the past because it's never going to come again. So it was fun, Technological Chromesthesia Week, and I've been thinking about you for a long time. But let's go ahead and create a Sora video about it off of this thing. Now, what is this thing? Oh, apparently they're under heavy load, so we'll just wait a few minutes. But when it comes to the heavy load of this thing, we've got this weird video over here. I'll give you guys the grace of seeing what this is. So this is I was trying to make a mock-up of the old HR Puffin stuff, but I couldn't get it to work with just doing the actual HR Puffin stuff, even though I said make it fair use and try and make it a parody and don't just copy the source material, but like, make it like it. I got close. So this is the 90s version of this metric. I'm going to try and hit paste on this again. Nope, still no. All right, let's check this out. Anyway, that's one I think went well. But it was super cursed because when I went to load it the first time it did this. So just so you guys know, this is why this is the thumbnail, because I tried to spawn this and yeah, pretty pretty eerie, not gonna lie. But yeah, having it on the triple set, it's even all the more eerier. And then there's smaller versions. This is coming for you. But it's a lot more pleasant when you have it on the. Yeah. Anyway, I'm trying my best to make unique stuff. I'm going to stitch these together probably at the end of this stream to let you guys know this is not just the time for talking about science. This is the time for fun. This is the time for experimentation. Something went wrong. That's the real point. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get this going in case anybody's here. I didn't wind up putting out this on the actual channel because it didn't work well. So maybe later this will be some bonus content that I'll drop at a point when I'll be like, hey, if you guys were back there or watched that video, here's when it was from. So we are looking at a couple things. I want to talk to you about the universe for a brief moment because I feel it is important if we're talking about space and we're talking about perception and we're talking about time and we're talking about life. What is all that? What it is and why it is. So I found out about something today where they used mercury because it is both a metal and a liquid inside of glass tubing to make switches. And yeah, so then this. Oh, I'm getting some interference. So this right here, this is the point. With the mercury in this side of the tube, it's a non-lit switch. But when it comes to this side of this tube, when this diode is connected with this wire, because the mercury inside of the tube goes over here, it then allows you to start the switch. All right. So, like I said, you can find this on my Sora. I do find this one to be very good and quite a nice contribution, but I'm going to post it up. You're here with us in this time. You're getting to enjoy it now. So, I know that it's weird that I'm doing a Sora Saturday on a Wednesday, but I posit to you, if we look at time, it's a lot more messy than we're thinking. First of all, I'm talking about next week, and it's this week. I'm a tomorrow futurist, and it's now. I'm never going to really get to the time that I'm looking for. The closest thing that I'm going to get to the time that I'm looking for is when it's all said and done. So, if you guys were interested in trying to learn more about technological chromesthesia and supporting my channel, give this a watch. Please comment. I know it's long. I know that I'm boring, but try and get through it. Just try for me. I'll even try and help you guys out. Oh, 6 people. Hey, check that out. We're getting some people in here. Cool beans. All right, so let's go ahead and get into a little bit more and not try and waste y'all's time. Let's check this one out. So the real point is when we're looking at a busy beaver is basically the fastest working thing in the system. I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to work it fast and hard to the point that if we get into the truth of the matter and learn as best we can about these subjects and engage with them on a functional level, maybe, just maybe, we could find uh, some kind of patience and some kind of distance with this actual conceptual science. Like, I get that some of it is in theoretical, and I get that some of it is not completely fleshed out. But the point is, I've been working on a lot of these concepts for a fairly long time. So, as much as it may not be completely standard or normalized, I'm really trying my hardest to give you guys some critical and interesting ideas. And right now, we may not be at the finish line of 2026, but I posit to you, if we can get there and if I am able to, and I keep at this pace and I keep on working on it, we can try our best to see something a little bit bigger and a little bit better than what we got. So let's go ahead and post this one up too. Quantum math. Should we experiment more with it? All right. Busy beaver. The busy beaver is basically the hardest working Turing in the system, or it's the hardest working beaver in the dam colony. So if you're trying to get the colony together, you want the busiest of beavers, and I'm trying to work hard and fast for you guys on the hardest of science. So if we're going on domain math, it doesn't have to be seven. It could be nine. It could be 12. The n possibilities of technological chromesthesia. That was just a simple one I was explaining to you guys. Realistically, we got possibly even more about it. So let's hit up this video. Maybe quantum math could be a thing. You guys got to comment and let me know what you're thinking about it. Feel free to watch it later. It doesn't have to be right now. So let's go back to that video over here that we started with. Because again, I'm jumping around time. We're not staying right now, we're staying in the then. Let's look at the first video in this series. Like I said, it was supposed to be an HR Puff and stuff thing. So I'm pretty sure that was the 80s. I'm probably getting my centuries wrong. I'm bad at history and time. But that's just how science works sometimes. So, like I said, this is the one that said this one might not work, but I put fair use. I put fair use. I didn't want to steal their stuff. All right, let's go here. All right. Anyway, so that was the original, and then we got this one. We'll watch one last time. All right. So that one is interesting. This one, not as big a fan. Kind of cursed. Kind of really cursed. I don't know what was happening here, but yeah, very cursed. 90s puppets do not work well. I'm not really a fan of what they did there. So let's go ahead and hop off of that. Check out this one. I love this one. This one I am a big fan of. So I'm not even gonna post these yet. I'm gonna put them all together and I'm gonna put them over on the TikTok and you guys can see them early. But the point is, I want to put all these together in one big long video. I think I can put maybe up to a minute together. Who knows? Maybe I can get longer, but we still got some I'm trying to gen up here. Anyway, we got this one here. But yeah, I've got different thoughts on time, and ultimately, I haven't even gotten to see this one, so we're watching this one together live. I didn't even get any lyrics. It's just all sound waves. This one's really interesting. But yeah, I tried to go, what about doing this theme song in the 2040s? So again, we're in 2026 right now. We are not there. We are quite a bit ahead of schedule. So maybe someday it'll look like this. The quantum kindness review. Hopefully I'm not going to be a robot by then. But I guess, I don't know what's going to happen to me in the next couple of years. And maybe the maybe the Sora content generator knows a little bit more than I do. But yeah. So anyway, like I said, these videos I'm going to post on the later end. I don't know what's going on with these guys. Why are they not wanting to work? But yeah, I've been trying my best to get this going and get this going and get this going. But the real bottom line of it all is I'm struggling pretty heavily on getting everything organized. I would really love a little bit of support and help from some of my fans, some of my friends. I don't mind if it's not the best of commentary. If you're like, Paul, it's a desultory mess and I hate absolutely every bit of it. It's like, okay, fair commentary. I'm not gonna try and undercut your opinion of the matter. But I do think that if you guys would be willing to give me your feedback on my work, it would be very beneficial to my life. And while I am not necessarily moving on, I am moving on from technological chromesthesia. I am getting out of what was. I am trying to keep moving forward. If you guys have followed my content at all, if you guys have looked at any of the stuff that I've put out in the past, I've got a lot that I've been trying to put up. Some of it's funny, some of it's philosophical. Some of this is, absurd. But realistically, it's part of my story. And someday, bananas, there's no guarantee that I will make it. Yeah, this one's a good one. That's right, you've been tricked. You're inside an unboxing thread. I've contained the entire universe within the 24th of the 25th year. We never made it to 2026. No, but that's the point. Time is an illusion. There is no 2025. There is no 2026. There's now, and now is a big, big moment, and it's being divided one way and another. Uh, yeah, let's look into more time if we could get more time. So some of the things we're going to be looking at in the time week, right? We're going to be looking at time as a oh look, time is an illusion. Buy gold, buy. Oh wow, you're funny. Uh so if you guys are planning on buying gold, apparently Father Morningstar thinks it's a good idea. But we uh we do live in a bit of a hologram reality. I don't really necessarily believe that everything is on a moment by moment basis. I think that we make reality, and what we believe and what we think and what we see is functionally based on what everyone consensually agrees upon. It's based on a trapping of saying, hey, from this perspective or that perspective, ultimately it converges on you observe a nine, I observe a six, but it's the same number written on the ground. To put it in more elegant terms, everyone's touching different parts of a giant elephant, and we're going time though. But it's all now. It was then, but it's still now. And ultimately, the more that we divide up time, the more we have to put space within it. So realistically, the more that we put time in separation instead of it being just a big old chunk, we're looking at time in a way that makes it so there has to be more space and more space and more space because it's like a frame snapshot. If we're looking at a road trip and you want to think about the journey of that road trip. And we're getting on the car and we're going on a road trip, and say it's a 15-minute road trip. It's not even that long of a road trip. Some might even call it a road trip. But the point is, 15 minutes of time is elapsing in this car ride. But what if there's traffic? What if there's a shortcut? What if we get in an accident and it takes all day? There's no guarantee of what is to happen, and different quantum time slots will put themselves in. Up, we're going on our favorite rocket ship. You guys really need to comment more if you don't want me to, just feature only the ones that are coming in. But we need to look at it from the perspective of, the more we divide up time in, this is what happened to me on Tuesday when I had breakfast and I was in this kind of mood. We're putting different instantiations and metadata flavoring on the actual whole of reality. It's not as simple as to say that time is a series of, you have a banana, you go to eat the banana might rot, the banana might go away. Time makes it so there is such a thing as a fresh banana. Time makes it so there is such a thing as a banana peel. And it makes it so if you have a cake on a shelf and you eat that cake has gone through an interference pattern. It's been observed. And observation changes things. Let's say that we've got a cup on an indiscriminate table. We've got a second indiscriminate table. The functionality of those two tables is nondescript. You could switch them out. They're basically the same table. They're not necessarily the same table. They're a conceptual thing. Another way to look at it is the paradox, which we'll get into space eventually, maybe towards the end of the year. But the point is, we're in time now. If we're looking at time, we've got a slow film strip. Oh, let's go ahead. What do we got here? Oh, wow. That's a big one. All right, let me read this out so that we get it. We've got, time is a man made concept. Our bodies run on an internal clock. If you were in a cave, devoid of all sunlight, essentially removing the ability for yourself to tell time, you will sleep longer, roughly 10 hours, and be awake for longer periods of time. That is a fascinating concept, and I appreciate that commentary, Father Morningstar. The bottom line of that idea is, I want to eventually wind up in Antarctica, where the time shifting makes it so that it is closer to a day is a year. So if we take that principality and we go remove all source of light, and you were to just go, hey, it's dark all the time, you'd sleep and wake and sleep and wake, probably 10 hours of straight sleep if you really wanted to get that kind of rest. But when you look at the rest of the time in the day, you would probably wind up being more restful. I feel like if you could get over the disassociation of the actual, hey, I need light to be awake, and you could conceptualize in your head, it's dark times right now. Like if you were passing around in space, we're still in space and time. If we were in space in a distant point and there was a big planet, say like Jupiter, between our vision of the sun and here, and there was no real ideated starlight to make it so that it was, just kind of the inky void of nothingness. That starlight going towards Jupiter and interacting with that planet, when it crosses in that kind of eclipse methodology, there would be no light and it would just be in the middle of darkness. And if we were on the back end of that planet flying along and we were stuck in the orbit out there, we could use that kind of methodology to say, hey, deep space is very similar to Antarctica. I would like to eventually write some kind of living manual so that when I go down to the Antarctic waste, because I do hope to do it sometime, maybe not today, maybe not next week, but sometime, I'd really like to go down there and spend that kind of time. Uh, I think it would be beneficial to write out a kind of methodology to say, hey, it's cold, it's dark, it's just dark. But like there's the rainy season and the dry season in certain parts of like the African continent, or in certain other climates that have very disparate seasonal shifts, maybe like Australia, or like I said, Antarctica. It's got the whole swing of the 1 6 months of light, but because there's so much of that darkness, it makes it so that all the rain is snow. And that's realistically what it would be like if we went to a planet where it wasn't warm enough. We need to look at our own land and say, hey, if we could survive in Antarctica, if we could survive in the depths of the ocean, then maybe we would finally be ready to say it's time to go to space beyond just humans saying, let's look at space and think about it, but to say, hey, what about going up into the moon, or, trying to look at the actual perception of where we're going. And that's the real thing. Time is more about where we've gone and where we're going. It's to say, in this universe, the cup went from the indiscriminate cup table one to indiscriminate cup table two, or indiscriminate cup table zero. Uh, but the real point is it moves around and says at one point it was this way and another point it was that way. So we need to realistically look at time as less of a film strip and more of a collapse of the observational waveform. In this timeline, thankfully, as far as we've been made aware, there isn't some kind of mecha Hitler robot. Hopefully not Grok. But in any case, I would really, really like it if we had a sense where time was understood to be the division of the indivisible. It's taking one big block and going slice, 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 slice. But the problem is it's nondescript where the beginning of the chunk ends or the end of the chunk is. Time works better as a holistic concept when we have one bar of time, like technological chromesthesia, and we divide it out into this was my red phase, this is my violet phase. But we need to get away from technological chromesthesia. I've got more comments. So we've got the ancient Egyptians. I don't know if it's going to be all okay. It is on there. The ancient Egyptians were the first to develop the 24-hour day in roughly 1550 BCE. Thanks, Egypt. Can't be chaotic sleep deprivation hat man demons now. That's a pretty solid point there, Morningstar. So when we're looking at time, we've got the 24-hour metric period where we've got a divided clock and we go, this is the beginning of the day, this is the end of the day. But again, when I'm talking about Antarctica, the beginning of the day is the spring equinox, I believe, when the sun rises, and then for 6 solid months it's daytime. You wake up and it's light out, you go to sleep and it's light out, it's light out at midnight, it's light out at all hours. It's like living on the sun, but you're not, living on the sun because we don't do that yet. But when it comes to having that kind of exposure to that amount of daylight, I don't think people are ready to be that kind of solar powered. I don't know if even I'm ready to be that kind of solar powered. People want to tell me, or people, maybe mostly robots, but most conversations I have about going to Antarctica, people want to act like you're going to not be able to live there for as long as you'd like. It's resource scarce. It's unable to be. But if you could make the supply chains to make sure that there was replenishable resources so these researchers aren't going to have to keep going off island and keep on having problems, and the people that work there have some kind of quality of life where it's not just a bad time, ideally, then there's no reason that you would necessarily have to leave Antarctica if you still had scientific research to be done. And I may not have personally gone to an educational institution, but I would like to go to the School of Hard Antarctica Knox. So many of these people want to talk about learning from life. I think that there is a lot to learn there. And I think that of people, would have a lot to offer there. I don't want to try and toot my own horn, but I do have a mind that's not like a lot of other minds. And when it comes to that metric, I think that waking up and knowing that the sun is going to rise one day and watching the sun rise and knowing it will not set again for 6 solid months, that drives me. That makes me want to think. That makes me go, why is it like that? And speaking of why is it like that, what's going on with these gens? Why don't they want to work? I think the one was the red orange. I guess they're under high volume. But that's probably because I'm trying to promote Sora. Come on, guys. Ugh, anyway, so how does time move in space? That's a good point. So, like I said, on the one end, we have thing where we've got space divided by this moment to that moment. Like I said, forest becoming a clearing, becoming undercutting a civilization, becoming a more structuralized civilization, possibly going under unrest. But the real bottom line of it all is you've got all these different slices and colors and perceptive domains. It's all about perception. Most of life seems to be a lotus eater holographic experience, like you were saying in the previous one, where it was all defined out as one giant misunderstood concept. And functionally, I think that the that this over here is less isn't this fun or interesting, but that's us. We're in a quantum super solid that is moving around going, is the system on or is the system off? Whenever we go to one side and enable the actual harmonization of the series and say we will be in a growth period and we will try our best to go upwards with our efforts, then at the end of the day, we will see the entirety of the world go into the positive swing. The metrics of our existence are more tied to what happens in our existence, and what we believe in that existence is ultimately what is reality. Some people want to talk about hope and hopelessness and hopefulness, or ultimately perception of behavior. The way that we take our outlook and the way that we look at reality directly influences reality. It may not be a popular thought, but at the end of the day, we have only ourselves to consider. We have only past, present, and future, allegedly, because again, time is just basically the only reason that you're not born right now and dying right now, and also doing absolutely everything you've ever done, including eating and pooping at all moments. So it's not enough to say that time is just Tuesday afternoon sometime. That's that chaotic sleep deprivation talking right there. The ancient Egyptians, like you were saying in your previous one, when you actually have the calendar on consideration, when you actually have the 24-hour day as a divisive metric, you start to consider time from the perceptive matter basis. Now, what I would say is humans, in the materialist sense, go bottom up, which, while that is where we're looking from, it's not the correct necessarily way. People a lot of the time try and think at one point some species gained sentience, and that sentience was a unique fact, and at one point some one thing thought to think, and that is where consciousness came from, and one magical wellspring of mind, and in other minds, and also over there, and then also Steve from accounting. But the point is, all people were somehow a random individual outcropping of who could have thought. Somehow someone thought. And all of these people, as much as they may want to consider themselves an individual instantiation, you are unique. I'm not trying to say you're not unique, but the point is we are unique points in the waveform that is the consciousness of existence. Consciousness is the overarch, and then matter is the rippling little cacti in the dotted background. It's not enough to say, hey, those cacti will eventually one day go, gee, getting pretty thirsty. They're just in the environment of consciousness. Consciousness is what says thirst, or cactus, or desert, or uh, dehydration. The real point is all of those concepts are a lexicon of perceptive experiential existence. The whole of matter in its entirety is meant to be observed and experienced and tactilely interacted with. whether or not you want to believe in any kind of overpower of any kind of like supernatural or any kind of like purpose in existence, what we interact upon directly influences and changes reality. What I mean by that is you could say that you don't change reality, but I'd like you to go to a park at that point and make a big mess of a bunch of snacks because I don't want you to make a bad time of it, but have a good amount of snacks and then pile up all your trash on the ground. And you have a couple of moments to do this. Don't just stay this way. This is again the importance of time. In a moment, you could go, I'm going to pile all these wrappers on the ground. And as long as you don't leave them there, that's fine for a moment. But if in that moment you go, well, it's fine for me to walk away now, it's fine for a moment. If, say, your hat blows away and you need to run back and then go grab the wrappers to throw them away. But if you keep going down those times, you keep going down the negative decay path of existence to go, I may have done this, but I don't need to think about this. I already did this. This is the consumptive. This is the extractive. This is the I don't mind drilling for oil no matter where it's at or what it's for, as long as it gets me somewhere right now. So, what I want you to know is it's all about moving slowly forward and going through the kindest metric. It's going about, hey, how can I add the most constructive interference and the most build in this model? How can I take small little points and put them together into little rows? And instead of, say, having just the color red or just the color violet, to go, what about blending from red to violet? What about leaving all the blues out? What about leaving all the greens out? And to go, what, hey, if we only had a bar made of indigo? But again, I'm still talking about the present, or am I talking about the past, or am I really talking about the future? Time is an illusion. That's the real bottom of it. The past, present, and future exist simultaneously. That is another very interesting and astute point when you're looking at the past, present, and future existing simultaneously. If we had a rocket ship and we were traveling away from the Earth, our space is getting more and more distant. If we were to, say, have a super bright beacon and that beacon was just pulsing like a light, uh, if we were to look at the phase of the light and getting further and further away, that light has to travel further and further. So eventually, if we keep looking back, that pulse is going to shift phase. Or if we were to go closer and closer and closer, eventually it would just be a straight line, even with the actual pulsing mechanism. Because if we were to isolate and cut time down, it's just on in that instant. If we have perceived it, it is on. But the point is, like a ripple in a pond, if we throw a rock at the stream of matter and then the actual ripples come out, you don't see the fifth, the ninth, the 90th ripple before you see the first. Time is the illusion that sets us up to say that first ripple's important. But it's really just the setup for the second ripple, and so on and so on and so on, outside of the series of we threw a pebble. So it's all the same bits of matter. And to think about it from the perspective of that rock had to get there somehow, that rock had a past, that rock has a future. And realistically, neither of those, the future and the past, exists. Like I said, it is now, it's right now. It's tomorrow, it's the past, it's yesterday and tomorrow, all in now. The present moment is a passing, fleeting thing. We are realistically looking at what we have done in the past and where we are going to, and that is where we get the name January from. Janus was an old school Roman or Latin or Roman or Greek concept. The point is, it was during the Roman Empire's era. They talked about Janus having two faces, one of them looking in the past at the fact that we're just boxed in that moment that I told you, hey, here comes Boxing Day, here comes Unboxing Day, here comes the soon. Hey, it's almost Friday, it's almost Wednesday, my dudes. But at the end of the day, it's all individualized. We can't say that it's all put on one instant and that no matter what, we're going to be in this moment because time is illusion. But with that past, present, and future, Father Morningstar was also bringing up the gateway experience. We are going to be discussing the gateway experience later on in the week to try and bring up some more esoteric time. So, just to give you a little bit of a preview to show that something that happened in the past is in our future. What? The past and the future and the present all at the same time? We'll have to get there. It's in the future. All right, so wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. I also mentioned how I was piling trash on the ground. You should not, in fact, make that big of a mess because it can get messy. So, like I was saying, if it's only for a moment, we can get a bunch of piled trash up from one spot, say if we had a big old picnic. But the point is, get it all piled together and get rid of it. So, yeah, get rid of that thing if you can. All right. So, we're getting a little bit late in this. I got maybe a minute left. My comments are coming in staggered. Well, yeah, they're coming in staggered. I got to work it out. Ooh, yes, girl. Yes, girl, indeed. But yes, the point is I can only process as fast as my stupid mouth can really write it out. But I do want to get you guys up and aware about something that is very important because we're talking time and you guys need to know this. So I want you to know, as much as I respect you guys and I was talking about how time is illusory, I have to put in a critical point. And this is something that I really want you to understand, and it's important to this time to move on. It is Wednesday, my dudes. Ah! Sorry, I was trying to get that clip for Jimmy here for later. And in case I am in his chat, give him a +2 because that's how I like to run it, Jimmy. You should have me on your couch sometime. But anyway, yeah, I'm sorry. I just had to do it for the sake of the sillies. I'm glad you at least appreciate it. I got a couple viewers in here and nobody left, so that's good. Always nice to know. But anyhow, so like I was saying, if time's an illusion and space is paired to time, then that means that if we live in a holographic existence and all this stuff is just like a staggered series of what is this, it's the universe trying to just figure itself out. I'm putting these videos out to you to try and reach out to you. You may not understand me, but you can try and understand me. This is a relationary observational trade off. I'm trying to come to your soccer game to support you. You're coming to my house to tell me it's actually football ball. And I'll be like, I don't like football because then they think of American hand egg. And they'll be like, well, why don't we call it American hand egg? And I'll be like, because eggers do not appreciate it being called American hand egg. And that's why I'm not allowed at any football parties. But anyway, if the universe is just an orb of existence and we are within the terms of that orb, and I am within that orb, and I am the universe itself trying to experience and potentiate and discover itself. We are inside of an orb of silver, and I'm sorry to put you in my problems, but welcome to the basket, folks. We're trying to get there, but we're going to go ahead and do a little bit more on this. All right, guys. So I've decided for the entire week of Time Week, I am just going to stream me holding it forth like a metronome. And that's going to be the next several days, right? That's all you want out of here. If not, maybe like comment on some of my stuff. This guy gets it. He's getting it. He's understanding where I'm coming from with all this. Ballception. That's what I try and do. I try and have an interesting time in case any of you guys decided to jump on, maybe it's an interesting time. How do I hold on? How do I edit this? Because it's saying made with Restream instead of what I would like. Whatever. You know, if you guys happen to check out any of my old stuff, the past is still there. Like I said, I've got comments. I'm trying to do everything all in the same breath. So I may only have 29 videos, but I've got way more over here if you guys wanted to pre-game yourself on Sora. I've also got my TikTok that I'm trying to do, Ball 47 Silver. So if you want to get in on the ballception, the best thing that I can say is it's oh wait, I have to do this. That's how I do it. Yeah. That's circled the thing. All right. So I've got a lot of content that I really want to bring you guys. And there's oh, we finally got one. Let's see this one. All right, no, it just didn't work. But yeah, is this where I'm going in 2048? Am I going to be made into a horrifying machine of literal silver? Who knows, guys? We got to get through another what, 11 years, 12 years? No, 20. No, I'm sorry. My math is terrible. Another like 13, 14 years, depending on how much you guys want to keep invested. But hey, as long as you guys are willing to take time and pay attention, I'm going to keep on trying to make you as much as I can on the absurd and technological front. These are some videos I was making earlier in the week. I was making music videos for some of my conceptual, like scientific. This one's Old MacDonald, and then I got three ducks over there, and I got, Twinkle Twinkle Stars. But yeah, you got to go check it out. I got some really good people that I'm working alongside on Sora as well. There's a lot of technologists on there that aren't getting the kind of credit that they deserve. So check us out on Saturday for sure. Trying to get the stuff up and running because I've got a lot of really good friends and I've got a lot of really good content. This is one of my better videos on YouTube. In case anybody got to see it, this is part of one of my things. But yeah, I'm trying to also this is my $4 million offer. If anybody wants to actually jump on there, I've only got one person that really paid attention to it. But yeah, the idea of 400 million pennies, that's $4 million if you guys are interested. But you got to be patient. It's not, for this year necessarily, but hey, if I can wind up getting all this stuff together and you guys actually can actualize me to the point that by Boxing Day, I'm like, "Who wants to buy albums? I'm all out of albums," even though I sold digital copies. Uh, I'm all for it, and if that's the case, I'm a definitely somebody's getting $4 million. Mark my words, but you gotta make me be able to make that kind of money. I gotta be able to have that kind of money to burn. I don't have 400 million pennies. Not yet. But someday that's gonna be something that someone's gonna be like, Paul, we've given you 400 million pennies. And I'm like, you darn tootin'. But for now, I got maybe four, maybe a million pennies. Probably not a million pennies. I don't think I got a million pennies. But if I did have a million pennies, I'd be somewhat secure. And boy, howdy, wouldn't that be cool? I also don't know if you guys got the joke on this one, but I was making a 2026 to just regular 26 back on the first of the 6 years. Oh, who commented on this? Oh, okay. Thanks, Character League. But the point is, this is in the past for you. No matter when you're watching this, what it was, it's all gone. It's already week 3, guys. So I hope you enjoyed week 2. It was a really good experience. And, you know, it's nice to have considered time for over 7 days. Oh, wait, that's not how time works. We got to get through it. So that's basically what it comes down to. We got to like crunch the numbers and basically eat the cucumbers of time and go chomp, chomp, chomp. We got to get through it. So till we do that, we're stuck on it. And maybe if anybody was interested, you could come check me out on my stream tomorrow, maybe. I'll do a surprise and come back and stream more. Who knows? Or maybe you guys can like the video and subscribe and tell your friends. Maybe it's not time for me to move on. Maybe it is time for me to move on. Maybe I don't know whether or not I'm on air. Maybe I don't know whether I should have ever gone on air. But the point is, I was a production nerd back a couple of years ago, and I really want to make it into this place and not just feel like I'm not getting nowheres. So if you guys want to know about a really old cut and a really old time, and you really want to dig, this is to prove who actually watched the video. We can go back in time very, very far and see that there are videos of me from the past. What is this? 14 years ago? Oh, what's this? There was an old me video. I could watch this. It could be now, but the point is, it's got 294 views. It's the 7th. Someday, I'll come check this again. We'll see where we're at and see if you guys watch this. But the point is, it is 14 years old, regardless of whether or not you guys know about it. But you can get there if you wanted to check it that way. But anyway, guys, I don't have access to that channel, so you're not going back to then. But a little bit of history. I've been a YouTuber a lot longer than it seems. It's just I had quite a bit of a break in there and didn't really figure out who I was or where I wanted to go until I started getting into being more in touch with who I am. And hopefully, over the course of time, I can give you guys a little bit of an influence into who you are and where we are. Which Soras are mildly unsettling? These ones? Yeah, they're not great. Like I said, let's get something that's actually unsettling going. I'd just like to disclose that I have yet to receive my titular doctorates, but that does mean that I am not undeserving of my titular doctorates. Oh my Lanta. But yeah, if we're trying to look at this from the best of the ways, I did hear about the "Don't hug me, I'm scared." I would like to say that eventually, maybe we could have even more good times of those kind of varieties. And like I was saying, guys, we ultimately need to look at this from the perspective of where are we going? Where does space take us? Because we don't really know. We're just trying to make time of it. And we'll have more time to talk about it and we'll have more time to think about it. But I got three more gens. How about I give you guys the grace of that? Does anyone? Let's put on bananas. I think bananas is the correct way to go. We recurse on the beginning. Banan. So banana with a bunch of technological chromesthesia modes. Oh, stop with the we're under heavy load. All right. Sora's desperate to try and get me out and off of this. But I do hope that you guys enjoyed my silly little thing. I do think that came together well. This one is still hyper unsettling. like I said. Come on. All right, there we go. And then let's do one more of this. I think that this one was one of the better ones, so we'll go with this one more. All right. Well, it's been a really good stream, and I do think that you guys hopefully enjoyed some of it. I'm going to keep on trying to keep on the streaming and keep on trying to keep on the keeping on. So, just because I may be leaving you now doesn't mean that this old gal is going to forget about you or that I'm not going to keep at it. So, in case you guys haven't heard about it, I've got streaming. I'm streaming as functionally as I can every single day this year. So, eventually, there's going to be hours upon hours upon hours of my obnoxiousness for you to pile through. So, if you want to get ahead of the game and be able to go, hey, I don't want to have to do that amount of backlog catch up. Guess what, ketchup? It's mustard time. So mustard your best. And if you got it, let's check out some of the ones that I got cast in because I have had some people make some videos of me that I've been pretty appreciative of. So I want to go through and highlight that. Check this out. So check it out. This is a representation from my good buddy Popsci. So that is a cameo of me, and this is another one from Popsci. I do appreciate the fan mails. So thank you guys for considering me whenever you make your silly things. I know that you're kind of buried in my own content, but don't feel like I'm trying to overwhelm you guys with my nonsense. I just want eventually people to realize that I'm trying to give you guys unique stuff. I got pounds upon pounds of content and I'm willing to put myself out there. Hopefully someday I'll be able to make you or able to make you guys smile. This was another really touching one. Oh, I made this one. My apologies. But this is another really good channel to follow is Mystery Man and Bulk. This is a very good channel because he or they, I'm sorry, work very well. I only say he because of the man. But they work very hard on trying to formalize the metrics of their actual generations. So I think, yeah, it's all about what we actually make of our existence and time. So sometimes I wonder if I'm doing the right thing, but ideally, it's not time to move on. And as much as I may feel like some of the stuff that I'm making may just be for my own sake, I'd hope that you guys enjoy the fact that I'm trying to build some kind of a lineage and build some kind of something for you. Hey, look, more bananas. Oh, darn, there's no audio on these. That's a shame. Well, that's just all the more reason that you guys got to go check it out. I forgot to click on the audio, so that's a giddy go to me. I've been sitting here partying, listening to all these things, and not You guys haven't seen any of it, so that's been silly, me just dancing on the side. I'm still a work in progress, y'all. I do love you guys, ketchup and mustard. I'm a pretty frustrated mustard, but without the audio, we can assume all the audio is a banana. Just banana. Yeah. But anyway, it has been very good hanging out with you guys. Next time, I'll remember to actually give you sound. But all the more reason for you guys to go check those on the back end. So if you want to check out some of the stuff that I wasn't able to show you, I'm going to do some of the posting on TikTok and try and stitch the videos together over here. I'll give it one quick stitch since you guys aren't able to actually hear it. Uh, let's go up to the top. So I will start selecting and we can post the video on the site. So this is the first one. This is the one that the thumbnail's from. Again, this is highly cursed. Uh, yeah, we want to go to that video in a second. All right, that all. Oh, I can't stitch them all together. That's fine. We'll leave the future alone. Why didn't it give me my bananas? This is bananas. Oh, that see, I can see the banana. It's right there. Just bananas. Here we are. Meet the banana that hears color. Each mode translates sound into light. Vibe traps it in neon rays. I can't do my own content. Meet the banana. It's a banana made of meat. But now it's a banana made of technological chromesthesia. The point is, it might be a fun time for me to actually go through and redub my own videos. So maybe this is a happy little accident. This thing happens all the time. I make rain into rainbows, friend, or sometimes rain into agriculture. But it's all about turning that rain into something that's not torrential downpour flooding. But it looks simple, a banana standing on its own. But then that's a deep cut. If you guys want to actually get into my Sora, deep, deep down there is my banana series, and one of these times I'll bring it out your way. But anyhow, it's been a true delight talking to you. If there's anyone else out there that wants to say anything before we part our final goodbyes, it has been quite a ride. Okay, so let's go ahead and post it, shall we? We made this video together. Oh, we got this one to work on. How do I? How do I? How do I do this? Alrighty, I'm gonna go ahead and tag this up right fast. All right. Let's go ahead and put it in this. May as well put it in this. It's one of my themes. It's not necessarily made for kids, but it's not necessarily not made for kids. That's the hard part about this distinction. I don't want to make it so that people can't comment on it, but it's not in a way that it's not appropriate for kids. Let's go ahead and add let's go ahead and add this one on here so that people can see, hey, this was from before the stream and this is on the stream. Uh, all right. And then video elements. It does have altered content because everything I make is crazy altered. All right. So we're good there. All right. So let's go ahead and go for that. All right, guys. The stream is up now. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I know that it has been a bit of a ride, but I'm going to go ahead and cut it off here in just a little bit whenever my internet decides to catch up with me. Hello? Hello? Is it working? Bueller, Bueller. It wants to slowly lag because I'm using this too much. All right, cool. It's been posted. All right, let's go ahead and try and get this live. I should have this just about ready for you. Where is this? There we are. All right, well, it's been a treat and a delight. I do hope you guys have the best of evening ahead of you. Not very much time left in today, but who knows? Maybe I'll be back in a little bit. But for now, for at least this moment, we will close in and say fond farewells. For now, I would like to take my original, hey y'all, it's Ball, and tell y'all, bye y'all from Ball. See y'all around. Goodbye. Goodbye.